what was gravitating and pulling me in was drug dealer culture that immediately I started to learn and recognize it was organized crime culture, which I immediately start to learn and recognize it was rep your set culture, gang culture. And I grew up in what's known as Hellbound, which is Loke City. That's Crip neighborhood. Amongst a bunch of other developments that were all blood.
Got you.
Right? So this is what I grew up with, right? So it allured me because I saw a sense of family there that I was starting to experience in my household that was being lost and taken away from me. So, like I said, a lot of cousins. I was on the bottom tier of the cousins that got to be at the family cookouts and Thanksgiving. Everybody came to Abuela's house, right?
I got you.
Once I started getting older and reaching adolescence, people kind of went on their own. Folks got married, started their families, moved away. And so I was on the last tier of that. And so now I didn't have my cousins around me anymore.
I got you.
So everything became about friends.
Believing in
and what were my friends into? The same thing that I was being allured by, right? Gang culture. So we started our little our cliques. My uncles, the ones that remained were in baby mama drama. Sowing their seeds.
Listen, that life, that city life, that poverty life, we out here.
But they was fly though. My Uncle Rico always had the polo on.
Well, I ain't talking about poverty mindset, but not poverty culture. Because New York, you're gonna be fresh.
Oh yeah,
like that.
So the perception to me was, they doing it.
Yeah,
they living well, but they was really just broke and then living and taking advantage of women to buy them stuff. That's
there you go.
One of my uncles was a booster. My two other uncles that remained, they made themselves useful with their hands. They were mechanics, or they were fixer up, or like they could do handiwork and stuff. And so I observed that from them, but all I was looking at was the reward that they was getting from doing that.
I got you.
And so, that's what lured me in. And then, so my Uncle Rigo, he was really into music, and so he was like, probably low key DJing. I don't know. He had a whole sound system that drew me in, just the music. And we was listening to Eric B. and Rakim, Slick Rick, and like all the notable,
of course,
persons in hip hop that were taking over at the time. And so that's what allured me.
Got you. I got you. So all right. So at what point, like obviously, I know personally that at some point the venom, the street life, the anger. What was those things that were causing you to really become that, and how did you really overcome that? Like I said, we've had little random back to conversations about coming to Christ, right? But it was very unconventional. You encountered interactions with in the streets, where it's like, if I meet you today, I'm like, nah, bro. Like number one, you like, I'm like,
it's all to believe,
like, bro. But it's always the skinniest cats, right? What was it, Joel's back in the day? I'm from the city with a skinny Negro ride. Yeah,
That's like we got to. Yeah. we have no choice. I always was the smallest, skinniest guy in the room. But
what leads to that, right? Because we could be like I said, we could be ready to bang, but what leads to this fact where you ready to shoot, you ready to pop off?
Right.
What leads you to that, and how did you begin to overcome that?
Man, so
because now you're talking about having a business with 1,000 employees. How you go from
a legal enterprise to criminal enterprise, right?
We got to connect the dots.
So I think the real pivot point was I got tired of having to be the advocate in the home because I'm the oldest of three. And the age difference between my siblings is pretty significant. I got 5 years over my brother and 7 years over my little sister.
Sure.
So we never been at an age where we like to play together and stuff. So I was all about my friends and all about outside as much as possible, because I used to get pulled out of school to have to go to appointments with my mom and translate for her, because proper services weren't being proper ADA laws weren't being followed, right? So I was going to doctor's appointments with my mom, talking about her menstrual cycle and her health, and that was not healthy. That was traumatizing, right? It was nasty. I don't want to hear that stuff about my mom, right? And then they had the doctors asking questions. I got to interpret, about her sex life and stuff like that. I don't need to be knowing this at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, right?
This is a perspective that's pretty rare. Like, it's life fair, of a coda. Right?
Yeah,
it's like it's a grown up responsibility for a young kid to be engaged with.
Yes.
It's a needed service, but it's actually a potentially traumatizing experience too.
And my mom, God bless her, she man, with her 3rd grade reading level, was able to teach me how to read, how to write, how to learn my colors. Like, she taught me everything. And nurtured me in a way so that I can flourish and grow and be really smart and excellent in school.
Yeah.
Except my behavior was just outlandish. It was crazy because I was always turning on because I was getting bullied and I was tired of getting bullied. So I would retaliate and do just crazy things. I'll take the bowling pins I'm talking about in kindergarten. I was getting suspended in kindergarten for beating somebody upside the head because I was just with a bowling pin, right? It was a plastic one, but it was hard plastic. But Mattel and they weren't up on the current on the laws like today. Like, they were making.
I remember them old school bowling pins back in the day, man.
So, like, man, there's so many places you could go with it, but the switch point for me was I was tired of having to always advocate for my mom, so I was outside of the house as much as possible.